It's been so long since I filmed. I feel like I don't really know how to film anymore. I had to take a break because I am organizing an exhibition in June. Right now it is mid-May, and organizing this exhibition has taken a lot of time. There's a lot to do. It basically took all my weekends. The thing is that I have a lot of videos that I have already filmed. I don't have time to edit. You might see on my table there are paintings and my new color tools here. I'm trying to film this video. I'm trying to finish this project. I don't have time. I really have to focus on my exhibition, and it is a group exhibition that I am organizing with some family members, and we each had a role to play, and my part was to create all of the designs for the online marketing, the Facebook posts and stuff like that. It's taking a lot of time, but this weekend I finally have a weekend off, kind of. So I wanted to work on what I need for the exhibition. So this project that I'm doing here, it's gonna have to take a little break because this is not the priority right now. What I want to do today, I wanted to do something fun because I haven't painted in so long, unfortunately. But I thought it would be fun if for my exhibition I could offer some mini originals. So I think that's what I want to do today. It's just going to put me back into the swing of things, you know. It's going to make me want to paint again. It's not that I stopped wanting to paint. I think it's just, I don't know if it happens with you. When you take a break of something, you kind of stop thinking about it and stop wanting it. So I feel like I've taken a break from painting because I've been focusing on other projects. I don't know if I showed you already or not, but I've been kind of sewing a lot, making fun little projects. Oh, I can show you one. I made some slippers, some moccasins, and they're really nice, but it took a lot of time. And once I start a project like that, I kind of never want to stop because it's so easy to start. You sew a little bit for 15 minutes and you put it away and then that's it. Compared to when I want to paint, I have to prep my paper, cut the right sizes, prep my station, take my water out. It's a lot of, the workflow is, it's more intense. Let me show you my moccasins that I made. Okay, I made these two pairs. These ones with two beaded foxes and these ones with some fishes. These are mine, these are my husband's, but everything you see is hand sewn. So, well, except the lining part, I cheated a little bit. I know people here sew the lining by hand, or at least that's how we were shown. But I have a sewing machine and I figured might as well use it. I've also sewn this little cutie tote bag. I put a beaded star right there. There's a little pocket. I put a magnet clip, and that's it. It's very simple. It's my first project like this, so it's full of flaws, but it's very cute. So, you know, when I start a project like that, I kind of want to work on it and I get obsessed. It's very easy to work on. It distracts me basically from everything else that I want to do. And now I'm working on another pair of gloves. So this is the outside part. I decided to add some metal hoops there just to make it a bit grungier. And then I'm working on the fringes. I want fringes with beading on top and fringes with only leather. Anyway, it's gonna be really nice, but I have to put this aside. I'm gonna work on this later today, maybe in the evening. I'm trying to clean my workstation so that I can start working on my painting stuff and have an inviting workstation. So I'm ready to paint. I made myself some nice jasmine tea, and we're gonna start working on small originals. I decided to have some fun. I didn't want to set any limits as to what I could use. Usually when I create these styles of paintings, I use a very defined set of materials. So I use some watercolor pencils and some watercolor paint, and that's pretty much it. Sometimes I use a little bit of gouache, but not much. But for this project, I really wanted to have fun. I wanted it to be a sketchier vibe. I wanted to have everything available and being free to use whatever I felt like using in the moment. For this project, I decided to create as many tiny paintings as I could with one big sheet of paper. So this was me cutting the paper, making all my measurements. Of course, it is not perfect, but it's okay. Then I decided to start with a test, so a sketch version of my sketchy paintings. So I went in my little art creation sketchbook and I decided, let me try to paint 2 of these, just so I practice, so I warm up, and then I can move on to the big painting. Well, the big paintings, they're not big. Then I can move on to the small paintings, but that are on good paper, so the official paintings for this series. So in the end, I created 15 paintings, not 13. It's just that 2 of them are in my sketchbook, and you'll see that they're still quite different. I feel like I'm able to achieve a much looser end result in my sketchbook than on paper. And it's nothing conscious. I just noticed it afterwards that I can't get the same style on paper, which is fine. The style that I got is really cute. It's looser than what I usually do, at least I think so. I don't know if people really noticed, but I did. And I really think that doing these little paintings in my sketchbook really helped to warm up, at least, even though I didn't get the same exact finish. These ones individually, I think they took me 20 minutes to half an hour each, maybe a little bit more, but that would be an exception. So of course the end result is not as polished, I would say, that what I'm used to doing, but I really love them. You'll see. And even these ones that I'm doing in my sketchbook right now, I just find them so pretty. They were so fun to do. I think it's a really good idea to do a little tiny version or a little quick version of a project you're intending on doing. I did 2 practice paintings in my sketchbook. I love them. It really felt like seeing an old friend again or something, because I haven't painted in that style for a little bit now. I'm still keeping the same color palette, but now I took out some gouache. I have some beam paints, which are new to this series. I decided I'm gonna use whatever I want, and I'm going to work freely, loosely, quickly. So these will be mini originals that I will be able to sell. Hopefully, I will sell them at a cheaper price. These will be 4 by 6 inches. I already cut 13 papers, and the way that I calculated, I'm very proud of myself. I used a big 16 by 20 inches paper, and I decided between 2 ways of cutting my paper to have the least amount of waste possible. And I have only this amount of waste. So now that I did my 2 paintings, my 2 practice paintings, I will start working on my mini originals. I think I might just start working on the same 2 that I just did because they were really fun. I've been getting tired a little bit earlier, but I think it's because I'm not motivated lately. For me now, creating art comes with creating content. I can't separate the 2 because if I create art without creating content, then I feel like this is a wasted opportunity. So I think that this is one thing that is sometimes preventing me from just sitting down and painting, is the setup of the camera, the 2 cameras, because I'm also filming shorts on my phone at the same time, then managing the 2 cameras so that they're not in the same shot at the same time, and then the sound, the mics, making sure everything is charged. So I think that for me, it creates this barrier to start working. And combined with my latest overwhelm, I think it's because I'm feeling overwhelmed with the art show that we're organizing. It's a lot of work that I had to do lately, and all my weekends were spent on that. So I felt like I had no time for myself, and I was waiting for the others to give me their pictures and stuff like that, which I knew would happen, and it's fine. And I tend to get overwhelmed easily, I think, especially when I don't have my alone time, or when what I was planning to do takes too much time and then I don't have time for the rest of the things that I wanted. And most times I will do the priority first, which is good, but it's rarely making art. It's all the other stuff. And then I end up not making art, and then I end up overwhelmed. Also, under all of this is the editing part. I need to edit videos. I have that in the back of my mind, but I haven't had time at all for weeks and weeks and weeks. I don't even remember when was the last time I posted. I know it's the video where I did the 15 painting challenges in 15 minutes, or it was 14 paintings that I did not end up finishing. And if you saw that video, it was very hard for me. It was my most negative video to date. So, but I got some really nice comments on it and very nice advice. So I appreciated that a lot. And since then, I feel like I've been fighting the overwhelm. But it's not because of that video, it's just lots of stuff happened and with the organizing and stuff like that, that I already explained. Anyway, I have to get up. It feels good to be painting again. That's what I meant to say. So let's maybe organize our desk a little bit better, because I'm thinking that I might want to do a first layer on each one of those to make the sky and the water, and then I'm just going to paint on top. I took each paper and I did a first layer of blue. Some were a bit darker than others, some were a more brighter blue, some were a bit more muted. I didn't even look at the pictures to have an idea of how dark or light the sky should be, but it didn't really matter because most of them were cloudy skies. And anyway, I don't really like painting blue sky, so I made sure that all my skies on my paintings were going to be cloudy. And the advantage I found in doing that is that in most of my paintings, I have a sky and I have an area of water. It could be like a river or just a little pond or just a puddle, you know? But I really like when the sky and the water is a really similar color. So by doing the first layer all blue, it allows me to have a uniform color that I can modify over time if I want to, but I can have the option of having it remain the same and having the sky and the area of water the same color. And I found that it was more efficient to do it that way also, because since I have a lot of papers to cover, I could do the same mix and do all of them. So it saved me on time for color mixing. But also, imagine you want to start a new painting, but then you realize, oh, I have to do the first layer, I have to do the whole paper, and then I will have to wait for it to dry before I can do anything. So by doing it this way, my first papers were dry by the time that I got to the end, so I could start right away with the drawing and the rest of the paintings. Here's my setup. I have all of my papers here. They're mostly dry. I put my paper on top of a cheap watercolor paper just so it absorbs a little bit what might spill on the side. I have my phone here to film a short video, and I have my laptop with my reference pictures. And on this side, I have all of the supplies I might want to use. So let's start with the first one and see how many we do today. I don't want to pressure myself. When I feel like I'm done, I'm just going to stop and I'm going to continue tomorrow. For each of the paintings, I started by doing a quick sketch, nothing too detailed. And then I went in with the watercolors, and I had a lot of fun by using the colors wet on wet. I really love these effects, so I really enjoyed that. I finished 8. I did 13 small paintings and they're so cute. I'm very pleased with the result for 2 reasons. First, because I think they're very pretty and charming and cute, and hopefully they sell. Second, because it was such a fun project, it kind of made me, not that I stopped liking making art, it's just that I took a break and then I didn't really know how to start again. So it was a really good reintroduction to art making, because this was a low pressure project. I was able to quickly do a painting and then move on to the next. So my mindset for this was, if it's not pretty, then I scrap it, it's fine. I don't need to like them all. I just wanna sketch, and hopefully if they're pretty, I'm going to try to sell them. And I think that they are all pretty. So cute. So I'm gonna show them to you. After that, I'm going to have to start working on the logistics of the exhibition. I kind of did the fun part first, but it motivated me a lot. Now I'll just be able to work on what I need for the exhibition, make a list, find the best prices. Fortunately, for this exhibition, I don't need to ship anything because people are going to be there, buy some stuff and put it in their car. So it just needs to be in a nice plastic bag, maybe with a cardboard backing, something to make things less prone to bending and stuff like that. But I still need to find good options. Last time that I did that, it was such a fail. I wanted to find little clear plastic bags for my 8 by 10 inches paintings, and the bags were 8 by 10 inches. So the painting, which were also 8 by 10 inches, didn't fit. So I thought that it was really misleading. I wasn't too pleased with that. So I have a bunch of 8 by 10 inches bags that I guess I could use for this. I could just fold them on the underside of the painting, although it's not the most professional look, and I kind of aim for a professional exhibition. If I want to sell paintings at a higher price, then things need to look professional. I don't want it to have a market feel. Anyway, I'll think about it. First I did these two, as you saw, and what's funny is that I didn't even notice when it was time to recreate these two. So I did this one. This one is this one, same one. And you can see the style is very different. Well, yeah, this one is even sketchier than this. At first I was aiming to have a finish like this, but turns out these look a little bit more finished, which I guess is good because it's gonna allow me possibly to sell them at a higher price. But so these are the same. And then these two are the same. You can see that they're very different. It's always nice to recreate the same paintings multiple times because you can always change the style. There's always something to do. So I like this one. The thing that I noticed when I was painting this one is that I didn't leave enough space for the sky, but you know, this is a sketch and I'm allowed. I really like this one too. I like when there's a gradient in the water. So it goes from very clear, just like the sky, very bright, to a little bit darker. I like that. You can see it too in these two, this kind of gradient towards the bottom of the image. I really like the rocks there. It looks like a lot of movement. This is a painting that I did on a much bigger paper in the past, and I decided not to put it on my website and not to exhibit it because I don't really like it. So I decided, well, I'm going to do a small one like this, and I don't really like it too. Well, it's fine, it's fine. I'm still going to attempt to sell it. It's not my favorite. I think, you know, I tried to recreate it twice and it hasn't worked out. So I guess it's gonna be the end for this reference picture. Let's talk about the horizontal ones first. There's this one. This is a picture that I've painted multiple times. Maybe not this exact picture, but from this scene, from this area, I remember I took a bunch of pictures. So I have multiple paintings that are in this area. Sometimes I was standing there, sometimes I'm standing here, sometimes in between, but lots of paintings created from this place. Then this one is strangely one of my favorites because I find that it's so different and you're not too sure what's what. I know, I don't know if it shows, I don't know if you can tell, but this is a little pond. that reflects the sky. But then you have rocks and you have different layers and mountains in the background, and it's a little bit more abstract than the others. So I really like it. And this one, which might be one of my least favorites. Not that I don't like it, but I like the others more, I think. All right, and now we have a few that are vertical, which I haven't done much for this painting series that I'm going to be exhibiting. So we'll have a few options for vertical frames. So if somebody wants to buy that, they'll be able to have a few. So we have this one. I don't have much to say about it. I like it okay, I guess. This one, there's a funny story about it. I don't know why, but I drew it, I painted it, and when I finished painting it, I had a look at my reference picture, which I was looking at the whole time while painting this. And I realized that my reference picture is horizontal, but for some reason, my brain did not register that. And I ended up painting a vertical painting. It wasn't a conscious decision. I just did it. And then I realized, wow, my reference picture was horizontal. I should have drawn a horizontal image. I still like it. I really like it, in fact, but I don't know why my brain did that. I remember it was, I think, the first painting I did of the morning. So maybe I was still tired. This one is a bit more quiet, I think, but I really like the contrast of the pale rocks with the grass. I think that's really nice. Then we have this one, which is also very pretty, I think. Then this is the one that I just finished, the last one that I created. And for this one, I added a little bit more pops of colors using my gouache, which I didn't use too much for this series, but I felt like it would benefit from it, and I think it really does. So I like it. I like that the rocks are stacked on top of each other. They look very, very cute. And I think this one might be one of my favorites just because the house is so cute. I really like it. It looks a bit quirky. I don't know why. It has something that is a little bit special. I like that you can see just a tiny sliver of water right there. So yeah, I think right now I'm just gonna need to sign them and find a way to store them. My paintings have been done for a few days now, and I thought now would be the time to sign it. I didn't really know how I would sign them, with what, and what would be the best way to do that. Since these are really small paintings, I don't want to have a big signature. I want it to be quite subtle, so I don't want the size of the lines to be too thick. I also don't want the color to be too bright because I don't want the eye to go to the signature. I want the signature to be something you notice afterwards. Because gouache changes color when it dries, so I never know how it's going to look like in the end, and I didn't really want to have the surprise at the end. I thought it would be really simple if I had a good pen, but I don't. And then in the end, I thought, well, I need something quite liquid. And I realized that I have some acrylic inks that are very flowy, very liquid, and I have some really, really small paint brushes. So I decided to try that. First, I did try a medium-sized paint. Well, it's really small. I did try this one. And I decided I'm gonna make a test in my sketchbook. So I did this, but this is way too big for a tiny painting. So then I took out this one, which is even tinier than the other one. And I did this tiny signature right there. So I decided this is what we're gonna go with. This is the first painting I signed. You see the signature is really subtle. I might sign it again in the back with a pencil and write the date. But yeah, I think that's what we're gonna go for. I also cut some backing paper, so each one of these would have a backing, and then I need to order some plastic bags. I don't know how to finish paintings, so sometimes I will finish a painting and then I'll realize I've never signed it. And I know that sometimes people also write on the other side of the paper or the canvas if they're using a canvas. They write their names, they write the date, sometimes they will write the medium and the title of the painting. And I have just recently started doing that. Not at the time of this video, but at the time that I'm recording the voiceover. I'm trying to remember to do this. And if I remember correctly, I think that using graphite pencil is the best. Correct me if I'm wrong though. I feel like I should do some research on how to finish a painting, because you know, when you haven't studied art, you don't know about all the things surrounding art making that is not art making. You don't know about pricing, you don't know about, like, should I give a authentication certificate, or is it something you do when you're more established? Should you guarantee that the frame that you made yourself is gonna last through time, and if so, how long? Because realistically, I can't guarantee it's gonna last 200 years. I don't know, I haven't tested it out. So all of these things that I don't know about, that I find very complicated and overwhelming. Yeah, if you have any tips, let me know. Thank you. After signing each painting came the time of taking pictures, because I realized that scanning them professionally would be super expensive, but I wanted to keep a trace of these paintings somewhere. So I used my camera on the highest setting, I took raw images, and hopefully I will be able to edit them and do test prints so I could put them on my website, maybe eventually. This is it for this video this week. Thank you for watching it. I'm hoping that I will get to see you again soon, but I don't know when I will post next, because as I said, I'm really lacking time to edit, but I will do my best. In the meantime, leave me a like, a comment. If you're interested in purchasing a print, you can head to my website, and if you write me an email, I can send you a little discount code. But otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.